Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin stands as a compelling figure in Philippine literature, embodying the hopes, dreams, and struggles of the Filipino people under Spanish colonial rule. As the protagonist of José Rizal's seminal novel Noli, Tangere, Ibarra's character is crafted to represent the educated, reform-minded Filipinos who yearned for change through peaceful means and enlightenment. His journey from an idealistic youth to a revolutionary figure encapsulates the complex socio-political landscape of 19th-century Philippines and reflects Rizal's own advocacy for reform and national awakening. Born into wealth and privilege, Juan Crisostomo Ibarra is the son of Don Rafael Ibarra, a respected and progressive Filipino who held a different vision for his country than the oppressive colonizers and their friar allies. Ibarra's background is marked by affluence and education, having studied in Europe for 7 years. During his time abroad, he absorbed liberal ideas, modern philosophies, and scientific knowledge that contrasted sharply with the traditional, often oppressive structures of Spanish colonial society. His return to San Diego, his hometown, is driven by a desire to improve the lives of his fellow Filipinos through education and economic development. He dreams of building a school, believing that enlightenment and knowledge are the keys to progress and liberation. Ibarra's love for Maria Clara, a symbol of Filipino innocence and virtue, underscores his personal aspirations and emotional stakes in the community's future. Their relationship is a central motif that highlights the idealism and hope that Ibarra embodies, an idealism rooted in love, faith, and a genuine desire to serve his people. However, his aspirations are met with resistance from the friars and colonial authorities, who see his progressive ideas as a threat to their control and influence. Padre Damaso, a corrupt friar and symbol of the church's oppressive power, is particularly hostile. He falsely accuses Ibarra of disrespect and disobedience, igniting a conflict that exposes the deep-seated corruption and abuse within the colonial system. The core conflict of Ibarra's character begins to unfold as he uncovers the dark truths behind the death of his father. It is revealed that Padre Damaso, driven by jealousy and vested interests, was responsible for Don Rafael Ibarra's imprisonment and subsequent death. This revelation fuels Ibarra's resolve to challenge the status quo, but it also puts him at odds with the colonial authorities and the friars who manipulate the justice system to maintain their dominance. His belief in peaceful reform is tested as he witnesses the cruelty and injustice inflicted upon his family and community. Initially, Ibarra remains committed to nonviolent change. He believes that education, enlightenment, and moral integrity can lead to a better society. His plan to build a school symbolizes this faith and progress, a beacon of hope for the Filipinos' future. Yet, the oppressive forces standing in his way escalate their efforts to thwart his plans. Father Salvi, another friar with vested interests, conspires to frame Ibarra for rebellion, manipulating circumstances to turn the community against him. This betrayal marks a turning point in Ibarra's journey, as he is falsely accused of inciting insurrection. Faced with imprisonment and the threat of execution, Ibarra's situation becomes desperate. It is through the help of Elias, a mysterious and rugged Filipino who understands the depths of colonial oppression, that Ibarra escapes from prison. Elias is a symbol of resistance and the voice of the oppressed masses. His alliance with Ibarra signifies the emerging consciousness among Filipinos that reform alone may not suffice if systemic injustice persists. Their collaboration hints at the growing awareness that more radical measures might be necessary to attain true freedom. Despite his escape, Ibarra's ideals are shaken by the brutal reality of colonial tyranny. His experience of betrayal, imprisonment, and exile transforms his character profoundly. While he begins as an optimistic reformer, these hardships push him toward a more radical outlook. His disillusionment with the colonial system and the church's corruption ultimately lead to his transformation into Simoun, a new identity he adopts in José Rizal's sequel El Filibusterismo. As Simoun, he becomes a cynical, vengeful jeweler who seeks revolutionary upheaval through more violent and clandestine means. This transformation from Ibarra to Simoun encapsulates Rizal's critique of the Filipinos' loss of innocence and the rise of revolutionary fervor. It underscores the idea that the oppressive environment has corrupted the original ideals of reform, pushing some Filipinos to adopt more radical, sometimes destructive, methods of resistance. As Simoun, he embodies the frustration and anger that have accumulated over years of colonial brutality, turning his back on hope and embracing vengeance. Throughout his arc, Juan Crisostomo Ibarra serves as a symbol of the enlightened Filipino, an educated citizen who believes in peaceful reform, moral integrity, and national progress. His initial hopefulness reflects the aspirations of many Filipinos during Rizal's time, who sought to uplift their society through education and moral awakening. His eventual disillusionment and transformation into Simoun highlight the tragic consequences of colonial oppression and the limitations of reform within an unjust system. Rizal's depiction of Ibarra is not merely a character study but a reflection of the broader Filipino identity, an identity rooted in hope, resilience, and a longing for justice. Ibarra's journey illustrates the internal conflict faced by Filipinos under colonial rule, the tension between the desire for peaceful change and the reality of systemic violence and corruption. His evolution from an idealistic youth to a revolutionary figure captures the complex path toward national consciousness, illustrating how hope can be challenged by harsh realities, but also how it can evolve into a deeper, more profound resolve for freedom. In conclusion, Juan Crisostomo Ibarra y Magsalin is a quintessential representation of the Filipino struggle for dignity and reform during the Spanish colonial period. His character embodies the virtues and vulnerabilities of a people caught in the crossfire of oppression and aspiration. Through Ibarra, Rizal advocates for education, moral integrity, and peaceful reform as the means to achieve national liberation. Yet, he also acknowledges the harsh realities that can derail such efforts, ultimately illustrating the tragic necessity of revolutionary change when all else fails. Ibarra's story remains a powerful testament to the enduring Filipino spirit, hopeful, resilient, and determined to attain justice and independence. Please like, share, and subscribe.